And new at 4:30, no matter where you live in Connecticut, you may have seen a bear or coyote around your yard. There have been growing concerns over the wildlife roaming in neighborhoods.
We're standing right on Neufeld Street, where just a few yards behind me, you can see several police cruisers right there on your screens. There are signs supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, but nearby, you can't miss it. There are tents where people are camping out until their demands are met.
I know you touched on it a moment ago, but I kind of want to dial it back a bit. How do you tell the difference between a cold and COVID? If you're just joining us, we just listened in on an update from police about two teenage boys who went swimming on the Farmington River, and this was a multi-day surge. This was a multi-agency search.
In rural communities, pharmacies are filling a void. Here in Hingham, Nutmeg Pharmacy has hosted already dozens of clinics, vaccinating hundreds of people. Only 45% of students are doing well with the hybrid learning model, which means 55% of students are not on track to pass.
Also following breaking news out of Washington, the FDA has granted emergency use approval for Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine. It is now the third in the nation's war against the virus.
Yes, this is the Rose. It's a clothing store where I'm standing at. That's when you see people wearing their masks.
Lauren, there's kind of this eerie feel to the evening tonight. New tonight, if you're looking for fun, interactive experiences for your family, good news. Starting March 19th, museums are doing away with capacity limits thanks to COVID-19 restrictions being lifted.
It looks like it's rain that's hitting it, but it's actually the snowflakes. That's how small and fine and tiny they are. How can you prove at the airport that you have tested negative for COVID or have the vaccine? Well, it might be through your own phone.
Actually, a whole bunch of stuff just changed right now. You know, mostly we've seen these protests in major cities across Connecticut, but now they're trickling into suburbs like Newington, where people refuse to stay silent. Hey, tell Dave, show the scene right now. So as you can see, there are a bunch of demonstrators on Main Street. We were on the town green for about 30 minutes or so, but then they took to the streets. So far, we've heard people of color share their stories of racism. We've heard people call on allies to stand in support of racial justice. We know police received multiple calls from concerned businesses. ShopBlackCT.com developed during the Black Lives Matter demonstrations last summer. For supporters, it wasn't enough to protest. They wanted to take that same energy off the streets to every avenue affecting equity for Black people, long after the hashtags. At every twist and turn, you'll find an adventure waiting for you. And in this case, you can swing it. Eska Restaurant and Wine Bar has been looking forward to this day, and that's mainly because outdoor dining really won't be a comfortable option for much longer. Still, the industry says it's going to need more help in order to survive.
During lunch at Mondo, the Middletown restaurant sees a rush. Diners casually enjoy the indoor ambiance on this breezy day. Of course, hard to miss daily reminders of the pandemic as they sit next to plexiglass partitions with tables spaced out. Limited capacity means a wait easily builds outside.
It seems like the restaurants are really taking those extra precautions because, you know, they want to stay open for business and things like that.
And now they can welcome more customers thanks to the increase for indoor dining. While Mondo is excited, it won't benefit. They're already at their limit.
It's just a square footage thing, so to be socially distanced 6 feet apart, there's only so many tables that we can have.
They're at table capacity. Down the street at Eska Restaurant and Wine Bar, that's not the case.
I'm extremely excited because of the weather that now it's getting colder. I was worried that we weren't going to have enough business.
Business is down 40% at the spacious Italian restaurant, partly because of a decrease in private events. Eska started booking those events again once the state announced plans for Phase 3. While the Connecticut Restaurant Association celebrates Phase 3, they say restaurants need help and want the federal government to act on a new stimulus bill.
I mean, obviously it was disappointing. You know, that the parties can't get together down in D.C. to pass another round of stimulus.
Until then, or if no help comes from D.C., restaurants hope consumer confidence will carry them through this downturn.
And some people we spoke to believe that with each new phase of reopening, it just lets people know that things are slowly coming back and that it's okay to venture out. And coming up at 6, we're going to go to our barbershop where it's raising concerns about indoor capacity. Live in Middletown, Shawnte, Passmore, Channel 3 Eyewitness News. The manhunt to find Peter Manfredonia led state police to Derby. Investigators say he drove to Roosevelt Drive to visit someone he knew, an acquaintance, and there police say he killed again.
The manhunt for Peter Manfredonia is a multi-state search. State police tell Eyewitness News the Yukon senior student was last spotted walking in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. The 6'3", 240-pound man wore a gray shirt and gray pants. Back in Connecticut, a new crime scene unfolded for state police.
The Connecticut State Police are currently searching for a Peter Manfredonia in the Osbornedale State Park area in the town of Derby.
This morning, state police say he reemerged in Willington, where he held a homeowner against his will. This after police say he attacked two elderly men Friday, with one person dying from his injuries. During the home invasion, he stole firearms and a truck, driving to Derby, where he ditched the vehicle. On Roosevelt Drive, neighbors watched a man break down on the street.
I thought whoever the guy was, he was having a nervous breakdown. I don't know. I mean, you don't see people out in the middle of the road waving their hands and screaming hysterically.
Eyewitnesses say sirens followed where police investigated the murder of 23-year-old Nicholas Easel. Police say Manfredonia stole a 2016 black Volkswagen Jetta from the scene. It was found in New Jersey near the Pennsylvania border. In Derby, sorrowful onlookers hope he's caught before anything else happens.
It's just madness, and there's nothing he can do to get out of it except just run for his life. I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for the victims.
Manfredonia is considered armed and dangerous. If seen, do not approach him. If you know his whereabouts or have any information, call 911. In Derby, Shawnte Passmore, Channel 3 Eyewitness News. Delta Arsenal says it's been non-stop busy, but we wanted to follow the numbers for ourselves, and we discovered that pistol permit applications, training courses, and yes, sales are skyrocketing.
A nation mourns the recent mass shootings while there's talk of gun reform. In the background, people purchase firearms, and research shows they've been doing so for months.
So Glock is probably the #1 driving manufacturer in America right now.
The National Shooting Sports Foundation, or NSSF, the Firearm and Ammunition Trade Association, tells Eyewitness News surveys show 40% of sales in 2020 came from first-time buyers. But who's buying?
In the African-American community specifically, you're seeing an increase of about 58% of gun sales in that demographic.
Jimmy McMichael runs a firearms training company and is the president of the National African American Gun Association for the Connecticut chapter. Women make up 80% of his classes, he says. Meanwhile, gun shop Delta Arsenal is seeing other trends.
We've seen anyone from Asian Americans, Hispanics, to African Americans. Everyone is really exercising their Second Amendment rights.
Through research, the NSSF also found Asian Americans are buying more guns, up 43% in 2020 over 2019. Experts say last year's increase is a mixed result of a presidential election year, social unrest, and anti-Asian sentiment. For Markel Peterson, he's looking to get his pistol permit because he wants to protect his growing family.
You never know. I mean, you could live anywhere, rural areas as well, and random acts can happen.
And a few cities did provide us some stats when it comes to pistol permit applications in 2020. And Hartford, we learned that in 2019 it received around 330 applications, but in 2020 it received more than 600. Meanwhile, in Waterbury, in 2019 it received close to 350 applications and more than 1,400 just last year. And here at Delta Arsenal, it says it's seeing more and more first-time buyers who've had their permits for years but feel now is the time to buy. Live in Wallingford tonight, Shawnte Passmore, Channel 3 Eyewitness News. Diana's Natural Hair Care, it's all about celebrating the hair that comes out of your head, Aaron. For so long, many people of color feared that their natural hair would look unprofessional to others, but this soon-to-be law challenges that outlook.
For years, Shanae Moore chemically straightened her hair. She later ditched a look by going natural.
It's easier. I don't have to worry about every 2 weeks getting up to getting it processed, burning my scalp.
Today, she's getting her locks retwisted at Boswa Hair Cultivating Studio in Hartford. Co-owner Jasmine Pinckney welcomes a soon-to-be law prohibiting workplace discrimination based on hair. Called the Crown Act, it stands for creating a respectful and open world for natural hair. Pinckney and her clients just wished it happened sooner.
It's unfortunate that in 2021 we still have to pass the act to appreciate one's hair or not be discriminated against.
It's a horrible thing, and it's about time someone speaks up.
The natural hair movement became popular in recent years, but with some reluctance.
People are concerned that if I don't have that look, I'm gonna be passed over.
Diana Lefevre's clients include doctors and teachers. She loves tight curls and is on a mission to help others do the same, whether they choose to wear twist or dreadlocks, or maybe just an afro. Boswell says the look is simple.
Natural is just where you were born with, what you come out of the womb, what you grow up with. That's what natural hair is.
And some may say this is just hair we're talking about, but again, a lot of people have felt judged for years based on wearing their hair natural. They say this would-be law just makes them feel seen, and the governor has said that he looks forward to signing the Crown Act into law. Live in Enfield tonight, Shawnte, Passmore, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.